God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Help guide me to understand what the hell is going on and why they're taking my children and why they hold them hostage for profit, for benefits, for county funding. And what is the real point? I wish I could understand. And I wish for once I can make you feel my pain. Because when I catch them lying over and over, I just get filled with rage.
Is the other supervisor for foster care.
Well, I mean, it's very important because there was a psychological evaluation done on my son on the group home that you all own in Greenville.
Uh huh.
It is so inaccurate. I'm sorry. It is
Uh huh.
inaccurate to factual. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like a 12-year-old wrote it, and I mean, and now I'm being told if I want a second opinion done, I have to pay for it. Of course I do, because I can't even pay a lawyer to get my kids home. And then, and there's just so much wrong with what's going on, and I can't sit back and be quiet about it anymore.
Uh huh.
And I mean, I have to. I mean, is that a I always get put on hold or told somebody's going to call me back. No one ever does. My DCS worker won't answer the phone. They're having a meeting tomorrow for placement of my son. I don't know if I'm going to walk in. I mean, the recommendations in this evaluation are just laughable considering what they put in the file. So
Uh huh.
if I could get somebody to call me back. McKinley's calling me now. I will call back here shortly.
Okay.
Hello? Hey, Jolene. Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Um, so basically, because CPS investigated that, that's not something
Oh,
that I can investigate. That's something that they do.
so what were the results of the investigation?
I can pull them up. They should be in the case notes.
Yeah.
But also, Christina Potter should have told you the results of that.
She never told me anything. I mean, nobody told me anything. And if they did do an investigation and Nick's not been charged, I mean, you were talking about giving a visitation if he got out of jail, so I'm a little bit concerned. And Ray Lynn's never been examined by a doctor or anything to see if there were any signs of sexual abuse. So I mean, and as far as the last time I did speak to Nick personally was before he went to jail in April, and he said he's never even been contacted by a social worker.
Okay. Well, let me dig through the case notes and see what I can find from CPS. And I can reach out to Christina Potter and I can get you that information. As far as getting him charged, there's absolutely nothing I can do to get him charged.
Okay, so both my sons have openly admitted to certain things, to Christina Potter, to you, to certain people, to Nathan's counselor. Me and him both sat down with him and went over things. And you guys say you investigated him, yet you take my children from me when they've been told in the same back then by my children, by neighbors, by family, by everybody else that they never seen anything that they have been accusing me of ever, even by my own children. I mean, but Nick is nothing there's nothing anyone can do. I mean, nobody. I mean, do you? I don't.
I'm not saying that there's nothing that nobody can do.
They literally
I'm just
prison. I know. It's just frustrating at this point. He's been to prison with the criminal charges of aggravated assault and felony child abuse and neglect previously. So to tell me that nothing came of it, when I could probably pull 20 people just out of that apartment complex alone. I mean, that could tell. I mean, I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand.
well, I can't speak for the investigation because that's before I came along. I can't speak for the removal because that's before I came along.
Okay.
So I can't get him charged with anything. I mean, I could get the children reevaluated at the Children's Advocacy Center. That's basically all I can do on my end.
Mm-hmm. So the psychological evaluation on Joey, is there not? Do you not see what the major issue is with the entire thing? Or I mean, is nobody saying what I'm saying? I mean,
honestly, Jolene, it comes down to he realizes that Raylan is a girl. That is a typo. They do hundreds of assessments.
okay.
So yes, they're entitled to making those kinds of.
I mean, I can pick it up. We can go line by line. Where do I need to start? That's not the only thing. I mean, who pays that? The psychological evaluator, he's self-employed. And then I find out the Methodist Home Joey's in is basically funded by you guys, DHS, which is fine. But my problem then comes in when I research the psychological examiner. He's self-employed, so he doesn't answer to anybody. So if he did mess up, which clearly he did, he doesn't have to.
Well,
he doesn't have to answer anybody, right? So what happens when we have a situation in which I can factually prove without a doubt almost every piece of information in that is incorrect in almost every single way, and then we have a problem. So who pays him? Because he doesn't accept insurance, I found out either. He also is a business partner, strategic partner is one of the main things he goes by as opposed to a medical examiner. So he also has a law degree in business. I have a hard time. So if he doesn't accept insurance, so that tells me Joey's insurance did not pay for the exam then. And if
no, because they're contracted through the Department of Children's Services. They're contracted through the state of Tennessee.
That makes sense. So he got paid by you guys, but you can't help me get my evaluation done because Joey has.
No, I can't because you're an adult.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Joey has the same exact insurance I do. The same exact insurance, but you guys can get the money to pay for his exam out of pocket, but you can't help me because everybody's arguing back and forth about who should pay for it. Is that not
correct? Because there's a difference between Jolene. There's a difference between you and Joseph because Joseph is a juvenile and you are an adult.
Oh,
okay. If you go and request an additional psychological evaluation at Frontier Health or at Camelot, then yes, Joseph's insurance will pay for it on his behalf.
Okay.
But when he's in state's custody, yes, we do pay for any juvenile's assessment.
And those cost anywhere between $750 and about $2,800 from what I'm seeing, depending on the depth of the examination. Now, when I was in school, it was my understanding with these psych evaluations that typically they take 12 to 18 weeks for everything to even be reported and things like that. So the person is contracted strictly by DCS, is what you're telling me. He is contracted by you all to do these examinations.
The residential facility is contracted by us, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you, as an adult, go to Frontier Health or to Camelot or to another mental health agency to get yours, then it still does not take 12 to 18 weeks to get it.
Okay.
You will still have yours within 4 weeks.
And when I got Nathan's done a couple years ago, And when I got Nathan's done, there was a huge part of it where I had to sit down and give information and things like that as well. So I just feel like there's something been missed. I mean, so that facility I know is contracted by you all because I found that information out. So as well, the examiner is also contracted by DCS, DHS, whatever, as well. That's basically what I'm wondering.
I'm very confused. Yes, he is contracted by us.
Okay, so do you understand why that is a little conflicting? I mean, when basically everything in that evaluation, I don't understand, like the fact that you don't see what's wrong with it bothers me a lot.
No,
I,
no, I don't see anything wrong with that because that's what we paid them to do.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, that's every child that goes in state
So Nick
custody
says
has an
for murder and sexual abuse, yet he's never been charged by DCS with abusing my daughter sexually, or physically, or mentally, or whatever to Nathan. So that's fact, right?
No, I told you I was trying to pull up the case notes.
No, I'm
That
talking.
is something that Christina Potter.
I'm talking about the psych eval done on Joey.
The psych eval, Joseph claimed that he thought there was sexual abuse going on between his siblings.
Well, no, that's not what it says. It doesn't say
Yes,
thought.
it does.
It doesn't say thought. It says he was in prison and
He reported. He reported. Which means that he thinks.
I mean, there's so many things incorrect about that evaluation that I can easily.
Okay, well then.
I mean,
Maybe we need to.
do you understand why I feel like this evaluation that was done by a person contracted by you guys at a facility that you all fund? I mean, and that much information is just absolutely, because they told me it's based on legal documentation and Joseph saying. So that's what I was told when I called the group home. So I'm just wondering at this point, what legal documentation did they go off of? Because clearly it couldn't have been a whole lot. And if it was very much misconstrued.
Okay, exactly. It is mostly self-reported by Joseph, which is what I've been telling you.
Okay, so
that's what those evaluations are based on. The collaboration, it's a collaboration between DCS case notes and Joseph's self-reporting.
Okay.
That's why I said that you need to speak with Joseph about the things that he is self-reporting.
I need to see the DCS case notes, and then maybe I can drop it.
Okay, well, I don't think that you're entitled to that, but I will certainly ask.
It is actually in the client handbook, and it says you have the right to read your file.
Correct. Case notes are not part of the file, though.
So you guys can write whatever you want and have one of these evaluations done. I can't know about it. I'm not. Well, Miss Brady is no longer my attorney. She's withdrawn from the case. So therefore, acting as my own representation, do I not have right to look at the file? Because Beth Brady would have had the right to look at the file. Am I correct?
Beth Brady has the right to look at the file, yes. However, she's an attorney and you are not.
Why? What's the difference if I hire a lawyer and they look at it, or me?
Because they are licensed, you are not. I will consult with my attorney, with the DCS attorney, and I will provide you with whatever you would like to see.
No,
I'm not entitled to provide you with the whole file.
Something's not right, and I'm not stupid, and I'm tired of it. And
okay, well, a supervisor will be a part of the meeting tomorrow.
Your case notes should have showed them that this is not the case.
Case notes have nothing to do with that.
Okay. Then why is Nick, if there was an event? I mean, I have to know, because clearly people are telling me one thing to my face. I mean, did you not expect this kind of reaction when, I'm confused where any of this even came from. Any of it. And for it to be legal documentation tells me there's something very, very wrong about the case notes in that file.
Okay, well, this is what Joseph self-reported, so it has nothing to do
Well,
with me.
you just,
This is what I'm trying to tell
it
you.
also went off legal documentation, so you just said it. It would have also went based off case notes. And if that's the case, as I've been suspecting from day one, have you ever done investigations? Like, I'm just asking because I need to understand things. So,
No, because I am foster care.
okay, that's what I was
DCS
asking. So I didn't
investigation
know.
does the investigation.
Yeah, right. I know. That's what I know. I just didn't know if you'd ever worked on the other side or not. Because I'm trying to understand how an investigation works. Because apparently DCS had done an investigation on me for months and never met me, never came to my house, never even spoke to me. Yet they have all this information, right, that has to be true. Absolutely just must be true. Yet they did an investigation on Nick, but nobody ever saw or spoke to him. So how is that even? And then finally, a DCS worker does come to my house. Christina Potter stays for all of maybe 5 minutes, maybe, and then leaves. And then Joey comes home saying that we got to go to court in the morning. And next thing I know, my kids are being taken. It's reported that I refused this and I refused that, but all I simply asked for was an attorney. So how is it that they can do an investigation at all without ever even meeting me and determine themselves so greatly that they take my children at that? It's just, and then now all this. So it's like every time I turn around, it's something else hindering me. I've been waiting for the same referrals from Christina Potter to you for it's going on 6 months now, and the referrals never come. The people never call me to set up these things that I need to do. But then it's me not making progress, right? So it's my fault. I mean, I don't know who to call to sit and watch me with my kids. I don't know who to call to do that. I don't know. I don't know. And I just
Okay, well, I'm filling out the parenting assessment right now, and let me see who all has approved it. I have approved it, my supervisor has approved it, and Crystal has approved it. Your parenting assessment, it was approved today at 7:55 a.m. by our funding department, meaning it has been funded at this point. So someone will be in contact with you to schedule your parenting assessment. Again, as far as your psychological assessment and your alcohol and drug assessment, it has to be paid through TennCare. You can have a supervisor.
Well, I want this with psychological eval. I mean, it's clearly there's clearly something going on that nobody wants to tell me. I mean, this proves that if everything else that I've already been through, and I thought, I wanted to believe that I had just maybe went crazy because I lost my kids and I missed them so much, and but I know this. I just know, like a mother knows, and I know what happened in my son's life. I know, okay, and I know none of these things happened, and I know I can I can pick up paperwork and prove that it never happened. and yet you're putting in these type of recommendations and that sort of thing into I don't understand how,
because it was self-reported by Joseph.
Right. Right.
Recommendation.
And also legal documentation, right? So where did they get legal documentation that supported any of that?
It explicitly states Joseph reported that there is, and it's something about sexual abuse. And hang on, I'll see if I still have it with me.
They won't give me, even though every other state will give you a copy of your file. I'm confused why I can't get access to it.
Again, I told you that I would be more than happy to reach out to my attorney, and whatever I'm allowed to give you, I can give you. But there are certain things that I cannot.
And why? I mean, why is it not? I mean,
because Jolene, we have policies that we have to go by.
If I'm acting as my own attorney, should I not have the same right to adequately defend myself in any way it should come? Because I have a feeling, I just have a bad feeling, and I have a feeling I need to be ready for that. And I mean, I just get it. I mean, this right here, I mean, how do I file for, I mean, can I go down to the courthouse and file a subpoena for it? I mean, what do I need to do?
No, I told you I will give you whatever my attorney says that
Well,
I can give you.
I mean, I need it. I mean, it says the client right book does not specify that you can only
Okay,
have
then
this or this.
send it.
It says you have the right to your file.
Okay, then please discuss this with a supervisor that will be a part of the meeting tomorrow, because she will
Yeah,
explain to you
I mean,
policies and procedures, because I can't, obviously.
right. Well, I mean, this is, I don't understand any of what's going on. I haven't from day one. I don't understand. I mean, people are saying that I admitted to this, admitted to this. I mean, none of it's true. I mean, but who's going to believe me, right? So I guess that's why it gets to happen, because nobody's going to believe me. They're just going to look at me
Nobody's
like
saying
I'm
they don't
crazy.
believe you. I'm just not.
That,
Oh my
that
God.
all I want is my kids. And then
Okay.
I get punished. Like, have we resolved that whole visit thing? Because I'm confused how that. I mean, whatever happened with that.
I have sat here and told you.
So uh, so I'm just trying to understand why me and my kids are being punished from seeing each other more often, um, for
But
something that didn't happen and didn't ask to happen by me, especially. And it wasn't ever going to be a lone visit. Joseph had merged our visits together, from what my understanding was, and that it was going to be me, Joseph, Casey, Jacob, and Raylan and Nathan. And I get a response back from Joseph, all upset because he's told by Jacob that you told them a week prior to that, that they could not see me outside of the regular visits anymore. And but
because
then you
Jacob
told
and
me in
Casey
that phone
don't
call that it was
supervise visits.
because of that. It was because of that that visit that was scheduled that everybody said I scheduled, which I didn't. And it was never
Okay,
going to be
well,
unsupervised because Jacob and Casey were supposed to be there as well. So
okay, well, Jacob and Casey don't want to supervise it. So if they don't want to
okay, that's
supervise it,
fine. So why
fine.
wasn't
They
that
don't have
said
to.
in the first place? Why
Not
am
the
I
last
being
time we hashed it out.
no,
I
they
told you that.
didn't have the call on recording. So no, that's not what happened.
Okay, I did. I
You
explained
blamed
to
it
you that
on
as
me
foster
and
parents.
said that I
Okay,
scheduled. No, you said I scheduled this unsupervised visit. That's what you said. You kept insisting it. I have it. I can. I mean, it's not hard to play. So you said that you kept insisting that I scheduled an unsupervised visit, or you. At first, it seemed like you acted like as if it had happened, but then then it was you scheduled it. You did this, and then it was like, well. I mean, the story
okay,
kept changing
Jolene.
as I kept bringing forth more information that I already had about the timeline of
Okay,
events. So, I mean,
okay, Jolene. I have to go. I'm late for a meeting
well,
that
why
just
is it
started.
every time I start? I mean,
I'm
what about me?
literally late for a meeting. Can I
What
call
about
you
me? I
afterwards?
mean, you're throwing a psychological evaluation
Okay,
that could all but terminate my rights by somebody who is owned by DCS in their pocket. And then you're telling me this, but how come?
Jolene.
How come? How come you blamed it on me?
Jolene, I will
That's
talk
all
to
I'm
you about this
asking.
later. I'm late for a meeting. I have
So
to go.
I just want a simple answer. How
Okay, then
come?
I
How come
will
I
continue this conversation later,
for
Jolene.
the
I have to
scheduled
go.
visit? How come I
Okay,
was
Jolene,
blamed for that?
I'm ending the call.
Why
I'm
was
ending
I
the call.
blamed
I
for
have to
that?
go for a meeting.
Why was I
Joseph,
I will
blamed
call
for
you
that?
later.
Do you
if
have?
I never beat them, if I never win, if you never come back home, if I have to lay in the shadows, like I'm not there watching for you, I would absolutely. I will never let go. I will never go away. My presence will always be known. My fury and murder will always be felt. And I will always fight for you till my dying breath. There's nothing they can do to stop me from fighting for you and exposing them for what they are. And as far as I am concerned, they are terrorists. They are terrorists. They said that we're here to help, and the help never came. The help never, ever came.